Hello everybody, Science Handsome Jack Boy here, bringing you guys the second episode of my Borderlands 2 Etech Weapons Guide. Now, I did say in the first episode that I was going to cover the darts next, which is the second out of only two types of Etech pistols. You have the spikers, which I covered in the first episode, and then you have the darts. Well, things change. I mean, it's kind of hard to collect all of the different, Etech pistols. So, today I'm going to be covering the Etech rocket launchers. Now in total there are four types of Etech rocket launchers. The one that you are seeing on the screen is the TDOR manufactured launcher. Then we have the Malawan manufactured PBFG. Then we have the Vladov manufactured Topneaa, which I think that's how you pronounce it. And then finally we have the Bandit manufactured PRAZMA Cannon. Now, unlike Etech pistols, the Etech rocket launchers have only one manufacturer assigned to each of the different types. So in this case, let's take this launcher for example. It is only manufactured by TDOR, and that's it. Nobody else manufactures this type of Etech rocket launcher. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, well, how in the heck do we get these Etechs? Let me just say that they are all completely random. There's no bosses that you need to go out there and farm for specific Etechs. They're completely random. This means that you can get them from any suitable loot source. But just because they are random doesn't mean there are good ways of obtaining Etechs. There's all sorts of good ways you can get Etechs, and eventually I'm going to be showing you guys the method that I use to get myself these Etechs. But anyways, let's talk about the gameplay footage. I am using the launcher, and I do have the sham shield equipped, and I gotta say, this thing ain't that bad. The other Etech rocket launchers aren't that bad either, but I do have my favorites and I do have my least favorites. This one I'd say is probably one of my least favorites. It does do quite a bit of damage, but the magazine size on mine is pretty terrible. It only has 2 rockets, and I think it consumes both rockets, so I only have 1 shot, which is pretty stupid. But overall, it's not a bad rocket launcher, and as you can see, I do switch to the B shield right here. And I am in the Creature Slaughter Dome for this just because it's so much easier to keep the B shield fully charged when things aren't shooting at you. So I decided to come here to the Creature Slaughter Dome to show off gameplay of this thing with the B equipped. And even with the B, it still doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Now, really quick, reading the special weapon traits of having this variation of the Etech rocket launcher. It says it shoots slow-moving spheres, and the explosions cause enemies to be encapsulated by a blue sphere and give this effect off to other nearby enemies. Same function as the PBFG. And speaking of the PBFG, which is the Malawan manufactured Etech rocket launcher, let us move on to that one now, shall we? Now, as you can see, I do have the PBFG equipped, and the special weapon effects of having this variation of the Etech rocket launcher is that it consumes multiple ammo per shot, causes enemies to take more damage after the shot. If the initial shot hits an enemy, it will spread via blue spheres to the surrounding enemies in a large area, making it one of the best rocket launchers for multiple target situations. The Cataclysm effect also ignores terrain and cover. Now, I'd have to say that this is one of the better Etech rocket launchers. It does a lot of damage, and it's a lot of fun to use. I have to say, with all of these Etech rocket launchers, they're a lot of fun to use. But just like with the launcher, this thing spawned with a small magazine, and I'm definitely not a big fan of that. At least I get to shoot 2 shots instead of just 1 like with the launcher. But still, the fact that I have to reload constantly kind of sucks, but on the plus side, like I said, it does a lot of damage, so I guess that sort of makes up for it. Now, in just a second, I am going to show you guys gameplay of me using this thing with the B shield, and you know, in my opinion, I didn't really see much of a difference in damage even with that amp damage. But like I said, that's just my opinion. And yeah, right here, as you can see, I'm back in the Creature Slaughter Dome. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to using these Etech rocket launchers is the ammo consumption. Like, one of the pluses of having the sham shield equipped with these rocket launchers is that if you shoot a rocket close enough, to where it could damage your shield, it has a chance to absorb that rocket and turn it back into rocket ammo. So in my opinion, having the sham shield equipped with these rocket launchers is a really big help in the ammo consumption. I mean, it still is an issue, but you know, with I think all of these Etech rocket launchers, maybe except the PRAZMA Cannon, they have like an AoE effect, and you know, shooting one close enough will most likely, I mean, if you have a pretty good sham shield, it most likely will absorb that rocket and give you more ammo, so that's a really nice thing. But one problem with having the B shield equipped, as you can see, you have to refill your rocket launcher ammo one way or another, and as you can see, I am using the Logan's gun trick, and you know, refilling it that way. I have to switch to the sham and then switch back to the B, so it is kind of annoying, but yeah, I just recommend using the sham when using these rocket launchers if you don't want to have to worry about the ammo consumption. But anyways, enough of that. Let's move on to the next rocket launcher, which is the Topneaa. Like I said, I think that's how you pronounce it. But the Topneaa is a Vladov manufactured rocket launcher, and the special weapon effects of having this variation of the Etech rocket launcher is that it surrounds enemies in a large radius with damaging energy spheres. Dying enemies encapsulated in a blue sphere of energy will disappear. Consumes only 1 round and sometimes even less per shot. The Cataclysm effect also ignores terrain and cover. Now I have to say I really do like the Topneaa. It's probably my favorite out of the different Etech rocket launchers. I love the fire rate, and it actually has a pretty decent clip size or magazine size. But my variation of the Topneaa spawned with the slag element, and obviously I'm not doing a whole lot of damage, but it's still really good. I love the fire rate, and you know, if I had to recommend you know, one of these Etech rocket launchers to you guys, I'd recommend this variation. But hey, this is just my personal preference. Maybe you guys like a different variation, but this is just the one that I prefer. Now, as you can see, I do have the B shield equipped, and you know, I'm still not doing a whole lot of damage. I'm doing more damage, but since this thing is slag, you know, there's not much of a noticeable difference. But still, I love this thing, and I'd like to actually find you know, one with a different element. Maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking a fire one. That'd be pretty based. But anyways, moving on to the last but not least bandit variation of the Etech rocket launcher, the PRAZMA Cannon. Now, the special weapon effects of having the PRAZMA Cannon is that it hurls balls of energy that arc and drops more balls of energy as it travels. Now, personally, remember guys, this is just my opinion, but I don't really like this variation of the Etech rocket launcher. It's not my favorite. It's actually my least favorite. I do think the special effect is cool, but you know, it just consumes the most ammo in my opinion. And it also has the longest reload time since it is a bandit, but on the plus side, it has a huge magazine. But like I said, just that ammo consumption though, it really uses up a lot of ammo, and that's definitely an issue. So without the sham shield, without that Logan's gun trick, which I could always do a tutorial on that if you guys want me to, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already familiar with that trick. Without those things, it just, yeah, this thing is not, in my opinion, worth using. And you'll see in a minute when I switch to the B that yeah, I had to use the Logan's gun trick quite a bit to you know, refill my ammo. So like I said, it's my least favorite variation of the Etech rocket launcher. But as you can see, I do switch to the B shield right here, and I'm going to show you guys how terrible this thing is without the sham shield. I mean, it does do more damage, of course, with that amp damage, but without the sham, you don't absorb the rockets, and you just consume a lot more ammo. And I'll show you guys that I had to switch to the Logan's gun quite a few times to refill my ammo. But anyways, though, I think that about wraps it up for this video, guys. I have to say, I really do enjoy making these. It just takes time to, you know, collect these Etechs. It's not an easy thing. I do have to spend some time farming, but I do enjoy the farming. It's good to, you know, play some Borderlands 2 again, and you know, I enjoy doing this for you guys. But like I said, that'll about wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next episode. I'm out of here. Peace!